Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and fellow attendees. My name is Yasmeen, and it's a pleasure to be here with you today to share my symposium with you on the future of Pangkor Island. My symposium is titled Beyond the Map, Exploring Pangkor Through a Hunt. Allow me to bring you through what that means to me. Okay, so as an introduction, as we all know, Pangkor Island is a land with a rich historical heritage filled with lush greenery, iconic landmarks, and a large maritime economy. Quiet and quiet in nature, I feel there is a gap when it comes to understanding there is more than the surface to breach when it comes to exploring Pangkor Island. Let's take a step into the depth. So, the idea, what is geocaching? Before I explain, does anyone here know this term geocaching or know what it is? I don't see any hands. Okay, one hand. Okay, well, for those who don't know, geocaching is a sort of treasure hunting activity where individuals and organizations place caches worldwide and share the location coordinates and clues online for people to track down. Once a cache is found, it may provide the finder with rewards, think logbook, trinkets, currency, books, and people are also encouraged to leave something of their own in the cache to allow for the next group of people to find and receive. So why geocaching? I want geocaching to guide people to experience the nature, art, and terrain Pangkor Island has to offer firsthand, a combination of art and geography. Geocaching can introduce members of an existing community as well as interest locally to encourage commute to Pangkor Island to roam through the land. Malaysia actually currently has its own geocaching community with over 100 caches, with only one Earth cache in Pangkor per my research. There is a great opportunity to expand that number and make it smart here in Pangkor. So the concept and goal. The concept and goal of this project would be to gather and invite local artistic talents and experts in topography and terrain in Pangkor Island to find suitable landmarks as well as lesser known areas to place and design the cache strategically for the treasure hunt. This also allows for people to discover new areas about the island as they complete their treasure hunt. A completely new experience encouraging curiosity and travel rather than just taking the straightforward tour. So caches, what are they? Cache means hidden item. It's the main container that is hidden for the players to find. Typically is waterproof and will be filled with rewards when you find them. There are various ways to fill up a cache, craft items to tokens, books, CDs, and even large cash prizes for the first finder. Logbooks, which can be digital or physical, are included to keep record of each player and recommend other locations to visit within it as well. So what's good about them? So the main goal is to bring a new view, perspective, and encourage people to revisit Pangkor Island in the future. So it can be a conversation starter. Conversations and topics about Pangkor can be read through logbooks or can be represented through a zine, comics, or infographics made by local artists. Journaling, people can journal their observation of the local business ecosystem and recommend nearby attractions, say maybe your favorite restaurant or local business, and rewards are included for people to take home. So visitors can leave their own mark, bringing items, sharing their own art and poetry from their countries, and this cultivates an intimate experience in knowing on each other, its own resonance of waves. So there are different types of caches, and that means that the treasure hunt can be played in a multitude of different ways depending on what the player is looking for. So this can be the like three main kinds. So we have offset caches, multi caches, and virtual caches. Offset caches are actually not just found by simply going to the coordinates. It leads to an already existing historic monument or benchmark that gives you a number of clues to find the actual cache. So, for example, let's say that the Dutch fort. So you would go to the Dutch fort, get a clue, and then that will direct you to another location. Multi-caches, that's quite self-explanatory. So it will only contain a clue to the next cache, which would hold the next treasure, or guide you to another one. And we have virtual caches, so caches that are already existing landmarks. As you know, Pangkor has a lot. Again, I'm going to use the Dutch fort as an example. So the Dutch fort would be its own cache. So questions would need to be answered to the cache owner as proof that you were there, encouraging interest in the landmark and knowledge of the area. So examples of caches. Caches can actually be quite decorative. As a base, it's usually just a container or a box like this one. But with the help of local artists, there is a great opportunity for caches to be works of art interacting with and within the environment. This one is like a log, and this bear sculpture is actually made up of like different bits of metal. So you would actually have to like pick apart the metal to find the treasure. And it can interact with the environment. And these caches can exist underwater too. As you know, Pangkor is quite famous for its water sports and activities like that. So that encourages like a whole new play style to what geocaching can be. So for the artists, local talents can design these caches as sculptures or art pieces designed to represent Pangkor through messages on the maritime economy or climate change. And when I say local talents, I mean not just artists in Pangkor, but artists in Malaysia as a whole. I feel like Malaysian artists kind of get underrepresented, so I want to bring more recognition to the sculptors and artists in Malaysia. So I think that would be a great way to shine light on them. And in order to interact with the piece, puzzles and locks are utilized to provide a whole new challenge to the adventure, a whole new fresh way to engage with art. So where do they go? Essentially, they can go anywhere, proven that they're in a public area and are not trespassing into private territory. They must be stable, able to withstand weather changes, and be waterproof due to the rainfall and the monkeys. Difficulty can be fun. Determining where to place a cache can reflect in the audience, as people may want more of a challenge in their search, may be more harder to find places, making it fun for all audiences and age groups. So where can these go in Pangkor? As like I mentioned before, all public areas in Pangkor can be utilized, whether it's to use a historical landmark such as the Dutch fort, or be guided through Pangkor's fishing village or jungle trails like the Luk Sakade. All areas are possible. In the site visit, I don't know whether you notice there's kind of a lot of like these lanes that are leading off road, kind of like I don't know if it's abandoned or anything, but I would love to encourage more people to discover those areas. So for the people, I want geocaching to interest not just locals, but other people visiting Pangkor for the first time. Think backpackers, families, people interested in history and the nature of the island. The first day that I came here, I actually also saw a lot of team building activities, as well as family activities and stuff like that. So I kind of want you all to imagine, right? I take away all your phones and I lock them in a box. And I hand you a GPS device and coordinates. Maybe I split you all into groups and you go and find the sites yourself. So that's the kind of team building and community that I want to encourage with geocaching as well. And in the age where staying home is preferable, I want to encourage a reason to push physical activity and exploration in everyone as they search for the treasure. In addition to how to read coordinates and improve understanding of geography and direction. As Waze and Google Maps is really popular now, so I kind of want to go back to the basics. So accessibility to all. As you may have noticed in my previous slides, geocaching can be quite a physically demanding activity. But what about the people who aren't able to travel long distances or, hike up mountains and all that stuff? So I would like to provide alternate ways to cater to people with physical disabilities, as well as the elderly or younger children. And this can be achieved in these kind of ways. So we could have an accessible information hub. So this could be a center to display the caches and store information about geocaching, again through the infographics or comics. Everyone can expose themselves to geocaching and see both the current and previous caches as well as the topics they represent. And we could have a 3D model of a cache, so we could introduce digital or traditional artists to collaborate and include 3D models of the cache to display, whether physically, as a sculpture or digitally behind a screen in the information hub for everyone to view. And augmented reality. We could have a QR code to scan on their phone to view the cache digitally, and these projections can be interactable as they explore the 360 view of the cache and open it to take a peek of its content so they get a full kind of digital experience. And these are some pictures just for you to get a better idea. So the information hub I'm using the tourist information counter as an example, but it could look something like this. 3D models could be maybe like a 3D scanned one, or maybe 3D printed. And augmented reality, we could have podiums like you see in the picture, or we could have like the QR code to scan and it'll appear on their phone like that. So what do you need for geocaching? So it's easy. If you don't want to lock your mobile phones in a box, no problem. You can use a mobile phone or a GPS device to track down your coordinates. And there is also a geocaching app, which essentially would show it will have a map. So in this case, it would be Pangkor Island, and it will show all of the available caches that you can hunt in the area, as well as the difficulty level and the terrain level. So it's accessible for a large majority of people. And again, as I mentioned, for visitors to get started, an accessible information hub can be provided for visitors to gather and learn more about the activity. So future and sustainability. There are multiple ways that we can support the future and be sustainable about it. One of it would be renewability. So caches can be renewed seasonally to give more exposure to Pangkor's creative community, creating a revolving door to explore new concepts and emerging artists. It's adaptable to the environment, so caches don't necessarily have to be permanent. They can be switched out, change locations as to not affect the environment. And again, virtual experiences can be included later on to provide via augmented reality in addition to the physical experience. It's easy and flexible, so geocaching can encourage new experiences and change accordingly. There's different ways for it to be played. It's a long-term vision, but it can be proved to be Pangkor's signature. And no waste. Art pieces can be sold or displayed as a mark of its history. So how can we support the future? Number one would be to partner with conversation groups to build conversations on the climate. We can raise awareness for ecological and maritime economy and other issues that may arise. With this point, though, I want to kind of focus that more to the tourists that may come to Pangkor for the first time. Maybe they're not aware of the issues that are going on, so that could be like a really good conversation starter, and they get to know more about the island. And number three, virality on social media, as we propose a new and upcoming activity to Pangkor, so we increase the tourist interest as well as more foot traffic to the island. And we could have special events surrounding treasure hunts, including special caches available for a limited time with prizes. So in conclusion, geocaching can be a fun, engaging way to promote conversations about art, differences in culture, as well as spark interest in the environment around us. Exploring Pangkor gains a new approach. By having visitors directly interact with the land around it, they're able to not only learn about other countries' terrain and ecology, but also share their own knowledge and perspective, allowing a positive space to hold meaningful conversation. Oh, thank you.
Saya bukakan ruang sesi soal jawab sekiranya ada daripada pendengar-pendengar, silakan.
Actually, it's very interesting to mention concept because this was one for the mainland when I used to be present with pilots. Okay, if you have failures, not somewhere. Okay, now the question is, can you give examples where this concept has been applied? Examples?
In general is actually like anyone can put their own treasure there. I cannot tell you where this specific approach has been like to encourage tourism. But the geocaching community has been around for a long time. Yeah.
So it's just
Hmm.
is it all online?
Oh, it's a physical place. Yeah, oh yeah. Like you would have to go around, and so the only thing that you're given. Okay. Well, when I was on the app, I actually had a geocache quite near my house. So we had a train station near my house, and it was actually it's in like Cyberjaya. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, you can log in on the app, and then it will have like all of the available geocaches in the area. And for when I searched it out, there was actually one like right near my house at the train station. So it could be as close as that. And then one like how I kind of discovered geocaching initially was there was a guy, I think in the neighborhood in the US. His geocache was actually like a mailbox in front of his house. So it could be like really close to home for you, yeah. So you could hunt it like literally anywhere, yeah. Yeah, yeah, you can find it. Yeah, exactly. You can give like coordinates. Okay, for example, the one, yeah, yeah. You could probably like you could replay it any way that you want. Like the one near my house, the clue was actually it was near like a yellow bike. It had like the parking of the bicycle parking. And it's oh the cache is near this yellow bike. So we had to find the yellow bike to get to the cache. Yeah. Oh, that's mm, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like yeah, 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 exactly. There's like no, yeah, there's no one way to play it. You can play it any kind of way. Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Alright, terima kasih Putri Ayesha Yasmeen for the interesting sharing. Nampaknya ramai yang interested dengan idea beliau. Our last presenter pada hari ini dibawa daripada tanah besar Botol, Cik Mahizan Hijaz, Pensyarah Kanan Jabatan Seni Halus. Dipersilakan dengan beliau menadah ke langit. Dipersilakan.